What's up? What's up? What up, dope peeps, folks? Social media family, being subscribers and or visitors to that bin of my own immediate personal social media, YouTube or YouTube channel and our chat room or comment section. Is everybody good? Everybody doing okay, at least, if not better yet, to be said to be doing all right, or if not best of all, to be said to be feeling blessed and stressed, more blessed and stressed, and too blessed to probably become or be stressed. You and yours, your family and friends, and hopefully me and mine likewise as well, all the same. Excuse, pardon, or forgive me for butchering the English language or the American dialect for possibly the umpteen consecutive time, but then I never had claimed to have become or be an English major, neither nor an English professor, how much less. And so with that having been said, and I think I have gotten the basic preliminary, I say basic preliminary, what I meant to say. Please continue to regulate my mind. Compared to how the person talking attempt to confuse my speech. And as I think of it with that in my mind's attention, try to backtrack here with reasonable purpose being, in order so I can go on to follow to continue for where and when that my person at last left off so I can finish up as a complete form previous prior line thought, and in the same or in a similar soul word. But then now that I've gotten the preliminaries being of the basic intro as an introduction, footnotes out the way is what I meant to say, then let me get in to it, so far as the conversation or dialogue at hand, being which would make up the content of this present social media broadcast, video, or whatever anyone or anybody wants to call it, okay? And as it will be regarding, I'm making reference to, I will let you all be the judge. Well, let's just say it's in due regard to an incident, of which I had become subject to experiencing, within an atmosphere for its principal properties. It don't matter whether it would have been, that of a business store, be it public or private, or that of a mass transit, of a public transportation system, for that matter, and with all its different bus and train routes. But then the point I'm trying to make is things could have gone south, if I were to have permitted human nature to kick in that much more than how I could have fallen from grace. Well, I actually had done just that or did. I'm playing the part of the devil's advocate, but as the lesser two evils, being a prodigal son. Up until the time I would have to make amens. But then the worst of two evils is any of those closet devil worshippers who make up most churchgoers, then of whatever religious denomination, fools to the pulpits, and that is including the false brethren, false prophet, and antichrist prosperity preacher, televangelist among them, of the likes with their mega churches, fleecing the flock, draining wallets and pocketbooks or purses, bone dry or bleeding some or such to death, and bank accounts, and credit cards for that matter, not to mention the cash moolah, the ching 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 ching, well, more of the fold money than the yeah. And now let me get the bouncing ball to rolling, as they say, and speaking my piece, my mind. Don't kill the messenger, I'm just here to deliver, and hopefully anybody out there or in cyberspace can understand basic English of American dialect, whereas I should not have to break it down to you, like Well, no offense is meant to be directed at any persons among themselves who are affiliated, associated with, aided with, and are representing the mentally challenged. But I'm just making a point. Not like I have to break it down to anybody unless you are of some such other sort of type of person. I mean, whereas I would have to break it down to you, like, then I'm partially, what is it, mentally challenged. Like say, we don't like to be called mentally challenged. I mean, we don't like to be called what is retarded. No, I don't consider myself retarded. I'm partially mentally challenged. We much rather be called mentally challenged than mentally unstable. But then these crazy or more creepy neighbors from damn hell is attempting to, rock the boat and have me go off my rocker. These much more creepier neighbors from damn hell compared to the crazier neighbors from damn hell elsewhere. What building address location I was at before I moved here to resume paying annual monthly rent, utilities, and etc. But then that is not the original subject matter or topic of discussion of a given argument to be debated with the many different views and or opinions to be affiliated, associated with, and representing thereof at hand that I wish to engage in dialogue regarding or making reference to compared to what I do have it of a man's intentions to speak upon. And with that having been said, then let me begin. And I kind of woke up on the wrong side of the bed today, and I really didn't feel like going to any church today, although I did went. Finally, better late than never. But then I think I had gone there, I ever said, pretty much so earlier than still at some of such other time, because lately I've been missing not only sabbatical Sunday school classes, then likewise as well all the same that of religious church services. And maybe the same could possibly be said when it comes to that the subject matter of self-help recovery program meetings, like say for example AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. Then usually when I go to an AA meeting, I don't necessarily have to go to an NA meeting because I would have gotten the same thing to try to keep my sobriety as I'm in recovery from not only consuming intoxicating alcoholic beverages, but likewise from consuming that of my drug of choice, being the marijuana weed, the local weed, or reefer, peyote. No. But anyway, though, on my way to church, and I have yet to find a church home in the sea of false churches, and with the false brethren, false prophets, and Antichrist, closet devil worshiping churchgoers being upon the increase. But then I had encountered what was because of conflict of interest in one regard and another. Well, it was a curse, though it seemed like a blessing. Like I said, it don't matter whether it was for a place of business, be it public or private, or for mass transit or public transportation system. Well, it's premises property, but there's many different buses and train rides. Anyway, I had encountered this one guy, a fella, and no, there weren't any fisticuffs of action gone about as our kissing cousins across the great waters, not the Pacific, but the Atlantic Ocean, would call that the boxing skills to be gone about display between two opponents. But rather, this gentleman, this guy, fellow dude, he was knocked out otherwise, from what looked to be like either from a bit of the bubbly, a drink, or possibly worse yet, than the bottle he could have been using the pipe. And he was knocked out, and he had quite a bit of cash just out there in the open. I would say he had some like, it looked like the money he had just displayed like that, exposed. Some of it laid out on his person, like from $100 to $150, was it? No, about 100, give or take. Here's my food self, and like, well, the thing is, it was not like I took it off his person, not out of his hands, not out of his pockets, but what's on the floor, technically, how to say technically, it wouldn't be looked at as because I wouldn't attempt to come off like a bandit or a thief, especially up on the visual camera settings, whereas footage could be taken. Now I am sounding like Elmer Fudd / Long, hopefully not equal as well like Ron Wilson, Elmer Fudd / Long with the speech impediment or speech defects, whereas Ron Wilson Reagan, he has suffered from some such otherwise to be compared to how Long has suffered already different, whereas the president-elect suffers from a speech impediment compared to how a late president of the USA has suffered from a memory lapse. But anyway, getting back to some of such others. So technically what is on the floor, on the ground, is not theft. Even if it is by a person that has, I say, lost it, So what's on the floor of the ground is up for grabs, but what's in a person's hand or in one's pocket, even if one is, or regardless of whether or not one is trying to sleep off, a drunken stupor or bombed out high, you have no right to try to get the money out of a person's hand or in one's pocket, because then legally that would be looked at as theft. But whatever is on the floor or the ground, that's a different story. Technically, that would not be theft. It'd be like a case of situation of finders, keepers, losers, weepers. But then I did say my food self, if you look at it from one point of view, is not another. But I picked up some of it and pocketed it, where the other I picked it up, and I literally actually gave it back to him, though he wouldn't know the difference. He knocked out. He not conscious so much as he could. I put some of that money back on his person that he had dropped out of his hands and pockets, whereas some would say, man, you should have gone ahead and taken it all. No. Whatever's on the floor or ground, true, I could have, but whatever's in his hands or in his pockets, I can't take any of that, because legally that would be looked at as theft compared to if it's on the floor or ground. That's a totally different ball game, That's a totally different argument or conversation or dialogue. You know what I'm saying? I took some of that money. The one that was the ones of what bills, that was not in his hands and that was not in his pockets. I took some of that money and I pocketed it. But then some of the money that was on the floor, I picked it up and I give it back to him. I put it on his person, but he wouldn't know whether or not, somebody was trying to rob him blind because he was knocked out. But I wasn't trying to do so, because I didn't take any of the money that was in his hands or in his pockets, especially with how my person is up on the camera, Like I say, it don't matter if it were to be for a place of business, atmosphere, for its principal property, a given address, location, be it public or private, or for a mass transit of public transportation system, for all the many different buses and trains. I ain't going out like that. So whatever was in his hands and in his pockets, you can stay in his hands and in his pockets. You know, okay? Because that's a totally different ball game. I ain't trying to go out like that. Then what I did get, check it out though. I mean, I wouldn't say I had gotten half of his money or 1/3 of it for that matter, but I got a little sizable piece of it. You know what was on the floor, that is. You know, it looked like he had from 100 to 150. Well, more or less. Well, possibly not practically, possibly like something like, well, on average, is that what I'm saying? No, at least 100, give or take. You know, and I don't think I took half of it, half of it, or 1/3 of it for that matter. I don't think I took half of it or one, well, whatever. I think you all get the idea. But here it is. I listened to the devil again. I bought me some lottery tickets. What money I did get from him, if not all of it. Some would say, you should have took it all. No, you shouldn't take it all. You'd be just a real dog and you asking for trouble. Karma is a monster, you know. Ben, of which is, lo and behold, the title to this present social media broadcast or video, you know. Whereas I went to get a cheap bike at one of these recycling places. And I got it from a rummage sale. And the thing is, the guy that sold it to me, that bike was tore up from the floor up there. The chain, I didn't notice the chain was all and the gears and everything. And, you know, you can't pedal that bike. You have to put it in the bike shop. So that's one strike, you know, like you know, coming back at me for listening to the devil and listen to God for that money I took. And then I went to a church service and I was held hostage by the singer. So there's another strike of karma coming back at you. Because I'm like, what the? See, so don't pay them. But then karma could come from these here tickets, you know, that I bought. More than likely, gonna come out to be a losing ticket. See, bought these 4 of these things. What little scratch and moolah I got from that drunk or possibly worse yet, high guy, fellow dude. You know, I figured, well, if I don't get some of that money, if not all of it, somebody else is gonna get it, and more than likely, you know, 9 times out of 10, whoever else that you could come across, they're gonna take all that money. It could possibly attempt to take some of such money out of his hands and out of his pockets. You know, for that matter. If they fool enough to risk wanting to be videotaped for all that, you know, they some straight up hardcore riffraff with rank foul the criminal element, you know. Yeah, but I say I ain't going out like that. So, like I said, whatever was in his hands or in his pockets, I left it there. You hear what I'm saying? Can you feel me? I left it there, baby. I even left some of the money that was on the floor there. You know what I'm saying? But I took some of it. Karma is a monster, I was like saying. So that's what I had dealt with for today. I just thought to share that with you all. You all take care and be safe. We out. Peace.